Arichenwa muswa k'abafundi n'abatikezi ba Maambiwa richiri bazifunana rabatanganeza kambe kinyamushumo ya Maambiwa ngaduwa na utothoma la ngwa muswa wa gidimbiri fumbiri ina riakhola bojena zwavhuḓi kha uno ṅwaha nga dzina ndipfichanduko ligege Matsina sanganyisi nga vha ri vha ḓivhadze mbudziso ya madekwana na musi mbudziso iri musi ro dzhena kha ṅwaha muswa ndi zwifhio zwine vho ḓivhudza u zwi swikelela uno ṅwaha wa 2024 kha iyo mbudziso vho ipfa vhone vha zwi ḓivha nga vhe tshipiḓa tsha mbekanyamushumo nga uri ṅwalela kha saṱari ḽashu la Facebook na X kha SABC Mafhungo ya nomboro dzashu hu 078 459 1516.
As we really acknowledge the hard-working dedication of our frontline health workers, these are the people who save your lives.
Hata za Mafhungo hobedwa vana vapadawa madana mana kha awara za fominthihi dza u thoma dza ṅwaha muswa o mona na shango. Dzibichini hova hodala vhabambeli na musi naho kha zwiṅwe zwipiḓa zwa shango mvula yavha i tshi khou na. Ngwena ya kale ya ḽifhasi kha mutambo wa tennis Naomi Osaka o dovha hafhu a vhuya kha u tamba muṱaṱisano wa tennis. Kha milaedza yavho ya khishumusi mahoro wa zwa polotiki a khou kunguwedza vhakhethi u dzhia tshikhala tsha u ya u voutha nga vhunzhi khethoni dza vhurangaphanḓa ha shango.
Happy New Year, South Africa. From all of us here at the Democratic Alliance, we want to wish you a safe and prosperous and peaceful 2024. But I also want to wish you a year of meaningful change and new beginnings as we approach the general election this year.
The new year 2024 has arrived. It is my deepest wish that 2024 be a great year where we will see our dreams, aspirations, and wishes coming true. We have seen 2023 being a difficult year. Crime, unemployment, load shedding, and corruption happening day in and day out. 2024 must be a year of change.
The year 2023 was a challenging year for each and every one of us. Challenges such as load shedding, challenges in terms of unemployment. Those challenges have a severe effect on the livelihoods of all of us. But there is hope. 2024 is lying ahead of us. And on behalf of the Freedom Front Plus, I want to wish each and every one a prosperous 2024. This is the year when we can bring change in South Africa. If we want change, we can do it.
For this year to be a prosperous year for all of us, let's grasp a principle that was forced down our throats as we suffered total darkness and an economic meltdown. Remove the undesired load in order to protect generation units from further degeneration and total destruction. For a fresh start and a better future, let's be ready to remove a non-patriotic, visionless and corrupt government that has made us suffer since its installation. This we must do in protection of lives and livelihoods, in protection of our economy and its envisaged growth under the leadership of the ATM.
As we step into the new year, the Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania, PAC, extend warm wishes to all South Africans. 2023 was a difficult year for most South Africans, and because 2024 is an election year in our country, we plead with all South Africans to register and vote for change next year. May 2024 bring unity, progress, and prosperity to our nation.
The SACP wishes fellow South Africans, the majority of whom are the workers and poor, a prosperous new year 2024. That will mark the 30th anniversary of our historic, hard-won April 1994 democratic breakthrough, which marked our transition from the oppressive systems of colonialism and apartheid under white minority supremacists and their British counterparts. Since April 1994, our people gained access to human rights. The government has built and allocated houses for free of charge to the workers and the poor. It has expanded access to education, healthcare, and social grants. It has built roads in rural areas where there were none before. However, there are persistent problems. Unemployment is affecting over 11 million people, inclusive of demoralized work seekers. Our ports, rails, and electricity are in crisis because of neoliberal policies, corruption, and criminality. To resolve these and other problems, the SACP is calling on the workers and poor, as well as progressive sections of our society, to unite.
Naho kama ibigo ya uvumba mucho hoba nanga pazo zobara hao zanga hao dona ha mvura za ziruru vundo la KwaZulu Natal murabanga madekwana ejo azongo buya zaima panda batu ka uvama hayani abo bayokamerera mwamuswa.
2023 has been amazing for me, I won't lie. Like, it's been an awesome year. I'm only hoping for the best for the future. As you know, we only hope for more. So yeah, hopefully it will be great. 2023 was very difficult. For my New Year's resolution is 20 for me. So this year I'm putting myself first, everybody behind me, because that's what made it more difficult. Inkinga sizo-enjoy 2024. Izifiso zakho za 2024. uNkulunkulu ufuna ngibusisa ngigcinele umndeni wami, angibusise ngezinto engidingayo ngemali, ngomsebenzi abantwana abangasebenzi. uNkulunkulu just bless. Size lapha ngizojabulisa nomndeni wami nokubonga uNkulunkulu ukuthi usigcinile unyaka wonke kwaze kwaba manje.
Nafala East London hone mvura yoba ishiko una vatu boya ubambera na musi amasipala wa Buffalo City katina mino mihasho ya mubuso bako ushuma ubona uri husabena jiwo za unupera habatu ngomezi pichini.
Last night was a good night for Buffalo City. We are here at the Baby Lee Crescent today. Last night it was packed with hundreds of thousands of people that were here. It's London Beach and then Kununi Beach and our own beach, it was packed. We did not have major incidents. Where we had challenges mostly as a city, it's where people were under the influence of alcohol who wanted to swim. But everyone is enjoying themselves in the city, especially young people. But we want to thank the South African Police Services and all different stakeholders for the joint operation that we had the past days, making sure that people come into 2024 safer, and everyone was behaving in a good manner.
Any drowning incidents reported thus far?
Nothing. We only have one incident when one person passed away, but others were just minors. People were, but our lifeguards were on alert.
Let me put you on the spot. What's the plan for the city throughout 2024?
We have huge plans for the city. As you know, we are still under our recovery plan as a city. We are happy. Ever since we started it in October, there's a huge improvement from December. But what is important that we have taken a resolution as council to look at the smart meters in Buffalo City. It has been a major challenge for our citizens. We have discussed that as council that we need to look at a new system that will be accurate and where people can really say that this is the best system that we can offer to them. There's a lot of projects that we'll launch a mental health care center at Cecilia Makiwane at the beginning of this year, but also staff members in that area requested that as a city we assist them with facilities where they will assist their nurses and staff members to sit. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints funded us through that program. We are going to electrify informal settlement in areas where we are not going to build houses, but we are happy to say that we are going to launch a program for military veterans in the city, whereby we are going to build houses for them in Gompo area. These houses are at the cost of about 600,000, which is a good project for the city. But there's a lot of investment that is coming into the city. We are going to have an extra hotel here at the beachfront, office facilities in the city. But most importantly, we need to start fixing potholes. we are going to champion that. We have championed in making sure that the city is much cleaner. As you can see that it's cleaner around you. You have staff members that are on, that are working. The Settlers Way was open. So there's a lot of opportunities that we want, but what is important, we want to attract more investment in the city. We have the East London port that is here. We want to export food. Already there's an export of livestock, maize and soya from that port. The manganese is exported from that port. So we're looking for more investment. We want to call, especially on property development, to come into the city to come and invest. And that port will be exporting a lot of goods. Beginning of this year, we signed an agreement with the Chinese, which they want to come and invest in the city, but also the Teslanga renewable energy project that was started in Berlin, which is a major milestone for us as a city. We are going to focus on tourism as a city. So there's a lot that we want to achieve as a city, but what is important, we need to build people houses. We've been focusing a lot on low-cost housing, but now we need to start to look for opportunities for the working class, the middle class, those kind of properties. At least there's stability in this metro. The ruling party, which is the African National Congress, make sure that there is stability. We work with the different political parties to make sure that we listen to them, what they say. But at the end, as the ruling party, we are here to say that we are thankful to the people of Buffalo City for your support.
Richikadiva kazi bichi pala Cape Town gamrau hama dumbu ojiao vegembiri dwana musi loba lichiko ududera toja ita ori babamberi bakubangane ngabunji utimvumvusa zibichini.
This operational plan has been put in place for some time as our readiness for the tourists and also for a part of the festive season. I must compliment the drivers today. Most of them decided to come to our beaches a bit late. Compared to some areas, normally we experience early morning, people coming. But our message to people out there is, as much as we would like to celebrate with you, but let's be responsible. We cannot allow unnecessary drownings. People bringing alcohol to the beaches is a no-go. We're not going to allow that. Alcohol is going to be confiscated. Accidents are now probably, when you leave the beaches, make sure that you make alternative arrangements. Some people are still stubborn, they sit inside the vehicles, they're drinking, and then they want to go swim, and it gives the problems with the lifeguards again. So our message is, let's consider everybody. One death is one too many. We cannot allow unnecessary at the start of the new year. We're also preparing ourselves for the Tweede Nuwe Jaar that's going to take place tomorrow. So the city is very busy for the next couple of days. Beaches are busy. Enjoy yourself. Our tourist attraction, Table Mountain, is also one of our icons where there's a lot of traffic management along that corridors. But as you can see, we are taking a zero tolerance on our public roads. We'll be walking about on the beaches to make sure that people are also safe out there. And most important, as we prepare people leaving this afternoon, don't exceeding the speed limit. Consider everybody. I'm sure everybody will. Let's start 2024 in a positive light.
You've made some arrests already?
Yes, unfortunately, 2 arrests this morning early. People are 4 times over the limit. So it clearly tells you that people are partying late night. But if you do consume, please, especially when it comes to children, one of our things that we've got also in place is that at our beaches we have normally the tagging system where kids can be tagged and the information is there. So in the event they get lost, the parents know exactly where to come. But some parents are sometimes irresponsible. They leave their kids with us and we have to look after them for 8-9 hours. And a traumatized kid is not a very happy child. So please look after your kids, make sure that the child is tagged, so in order to make sure that there's a safety, because we are there to make sure that people, our visitors that come into our shows, and also the locals, they enjoy themselves, because this is a time for celebration, but there's also a sense of responsibility. That's more important to us.
Musi madubazi holiday achikoya magumoni bamwe babatu bako utoma udetuzanyira hapo uhumira mishumoni kati na urugisala mibiri yabo uvaka jigambi uyanga mu bigo wa 2016 wa World Health Organization Africa Shipembe bene chibaro cha mpesa lefasini chabatu banima jigambi baviva za mtakaro bako unyanga fazo zichukama unasa shikambi.
I normally use a dehydrator and Babalasa rescue. They really help me. I drink dehydrator in the morning while I'm going to work before I leave.
Some will experience severe headache. Severe headache, a person will tell you that I'm having a migraine. some will say that general body fatigue, I'm just tired, my body is just tired, I'm so exhausted. Others come with the story of saying, no, I am vomiting, my stomach is so painful. The effect of alcohol, what it causes again is dehydration. So when you got the dehydration, let's put more water so that we balance the things. Number 2 is to get some carbohydrates. When I talk about carbohydrates, I'm talking about food.
Normally, hangover I deal with by sleeping. I sleep it through. And then when I feel like it's not working, I woke up and then start drinking minerals. Water.
There's no other way.
It's our immune system. Why? Because most of the people are drinking a lot. They won't eat. And the system is, so if the immune system is weakened, anything can happen to the body.
So as we know, kapupfiwa hamiradi ya Lushaka nga fungo la shula duba hunembuso ya shuyari muso bechena kangwa ha muswa ndizifio zwine wodibuza uzishikarera onwaha wa 2024 ngari pfe uri abo bapinduraho kayimbudziso bari nini
Leo ni mwaka ni ndio ulindi diwane ni kotamisa ushakaro hashu wote labadogwa rachihure uri dibane ri kututi inga uri anu maduva achono dalirana bana bakotanga shukoloni bapeza bachiandisa na bado bajiana ngeno baropa mati ndikuri buwe mwabudi
meka umwa wa 2024 ndikunya kutoburunga mashire zvakuma mwapera watu ngokono burunga bazvenda zvilazonka kisao mara umwa ndimwa burunga ngana manda shota zvimwe marai uburunga ndidoburunga witiro mwa uchiperai na mindi vandevo nda
ne ono ni mwa wa 2024 zvinenda kotota muswikerera khazvo ndo engedza dzirumu kha dzirumu dzinenda vanadzo dza uhirisa hapa noni wedera kha Litonville onenda va hone zwa zwino ndanga to swikelela onenda engedza rumu ntha idzi dzine dza va hone mwa wa salo chifela ndono dzhenisa kha musi na ntha idzi andi ḓo ndo shimanga manda ndikolibuwa nda
Rulibonga manda bupfiwa habo kha fungo lashu ngari isepanda President Cyril Ramaphosa vone athendero ya urera muzika ane adobafu abalishaka ndira la matangwa wo mbongeni ngema mbulungo ya xipenchera ya vundu ine ya dofarelwa pala KwaZulu Natal ngalaptano Muranga vundi bono Musa Dube Nube bari mbulungo iyo ndiya keteranyo ya bubiri kana category 2 ine ya katerana chumero ya chipolisa wongema be na mimwaha ya Farati Maro boro bakomboni ya goro yifundi la Eastern Cape begeni operaho Limafolere mufuri wasifanyiso wa vumo ane adoba ava muwera mbeforo wa Dr. Bo Peter Magubane bopira pano shangoni na musi umagubane bobegwa ngala fumimaro la mwezi wa Pando 1932 pala Fere Drop Johannesburg wabara Mafhungo muji wasifanyiso weba abewa fupo nji bukuma bamuta botaisa na fiateberaho.
My father would have been 92 on the 18th of January. We will remember him as his family because I represent the family. We will remember him as a very hard-working, conscientious photographer. He was really very, very, very passionate about his work. Everything else would stop when it comes to his work. So for now, I think this is what one would like to say that we are very, very, pained with the passing of our father.
South Africa has a very complicated history, and I think that he was at the forefront of capturing and allowing people around the world to see what was happening to Black people in this country. He dedicated his life to doing that. It's about 50 years behind the camera. But I think for me, maybe, I don't want him to just be remembered as a struggle photographer, but to be hailed as an artist who was concerned for his people, to be remembered as a photojournalist, to be remembered as an activist. Obviously, we remember him as our grandfather, our father, and all of this, but he was a family man. He dedicated his life to the struggle.
I just think it's important that we encourage the disciplines of photography in South Africa. It's a big art, and I just think it's very underfunded. And I think he's just too old to be able to improve that situation. But I think that there are a lot of opportunities that art and culture is missing out on. And he was always very vocal about that we should celebrate people while they're alive, but also make sure that generations of people who want to be artists, who want to be journalists, who want to be, people who tell our story, that they have the opportunity and the resources to do so.
ri khou dovha hafhu vha ṱanganedza kha mbekanyamushumo ya maambiwa ya u tou thoma kha uno ṅwaha. Zwa zwino ri dzhena kha luṱa lwa vhuvhili. Ho bebiwa vhana vha maḓana mana fumi nthihi na musi kha awara dza fumi nthihi dza u thoma dza uno ṅwaha muswa u mona na shango. Minista wa muhasho wa mutakalo wa dokotela Vho Joe Phaahla vho ḓivhadza uri vundu ḽa Gauteng ḽone ḽine ḽa khou ranga phanḓa nga vhana vha ḓana fumi mbili kha vhana vho bebiwaho ṋamusi ha tevhela vundu ḽa KwaZulu-Natal ḽo ṱanganedzaho vhana vha fumalo ina, ngeno vundu ḽa Eastern Cape ḽo tevhela nga vha fuṱhanu mbili. Vundu ḽa Gauteng hone vhana vha ḓana fumbili vho bebiwa u bva vhusiku kati ha mulovha u mona na maongelo a vundu.
Just to give a glimpse of developments elsewhere in the country, we don't have the full report, but I will just give up to the last hour the report which we have received, which indicates that Gauteng is leading as the biggest province, of course, with the biggest population, with 112 newborns up to an hour ago. The boys are leading, 59 boys and 53 girls in Gauteng. My province of Limpopo, 41, just almost 50-50, 21-20 boys and girls. Mpumalanga, 28, with boys leading at 16 and girls at 12. Northwest with 33, with boys at 20 and girls at 13. Free State, 17, with lesser boys, 6 boys and 11 girls. KZN is leading, as the MEC reported, also with, I think the final figure MEC was at 84. Yeah, with more girls. Makoti. KZN to know Makoti. So it's continued to lead in that direction. Eastern Cape, the final tally was 52, with also competing with KZN with more Makotis, 31 girls and 21 boys, and the smallest province by population, Northern Cape, with 15, 9 boys and 6 girls. We're still awaiting the figures from the Western Cape province. So in the last hour, the total, excluding Western Cape, was 382 New Year babies, out of which 194 is girls and 188 is boys. So I want to say, indeed, we say congratulations to the whole country, all the babies which were born, to all the parents and the extended families.
Pala vundu la KwaZulu-Natal, MEC wa mutakalo vho ṱahisa mbilaelo ya u engedzea ha tshivhalo tsha vhasidzanyana vhane vha khou vha vhomme vha tshe vhaṱuku. Kha vhenevho vhana ho vha na mubebi muṱukusa wa miṅwaha ya 14 we a vhofhololwa vhuongeloni ha Winterton henefho KwaZulu-Natal.
We hope that bearing this distinction of the New Year baby will be a good omen for the families as well as for our country and our province, which will help them grow up and become responsible citizens who will make a positive contribution to their families, their communities, and our society as a whole. We wish all the moms well as they go about this important task of raising their children, but also the families, as we all understand that it takes a village nowadays to make sure that our kids grow. I want to congratulate also the Department of Health, MEC Smilane, and your health care workers for making significant stride in arresting the issues of mortality in our province, but also in our country. We know and we still believe that breastfeeding, amongst many other strategies, has been placed at the center to fight the child mortality, and it has proven that it does work.
Zvichibva muranga vundu wa Northern Cape vo zamani sol vo khoda zwihulwane vha ongi kha mushumo we vha u ita u ṱanganedza vhana vha fumi na vhana vho bebiwaho na musi u mona na vundu. Vhana ava vho bebiwaho vho engedza tshivhalo tsha vhadzulapo vha vundu iḽi vha paḓaho miḽioni nthihi khoma raru.
So we've got 14 new 2024 babies in the Northern Cape, and we are very proud of that. We were just here to congratulate the mothers and encouraging them to look after their babies, and the sense that we get, it's responsible parents and who love their babies. And we are also here to say a word of appreciation, deep sense of gratitude to the midwives and the doctors in both hospitals that we've visited. I think there is significant improvement in the quality of public health in the Northern Cape, and we highly appreciate the kind of work that they are doing and the kind of investment which the Department of Health is putting into our institutions.
Vaongi va madala mavhili vhane vha khou gura mushumo vho iswa kha maongelo u mona na vundu la Northern Cape. Izwi zwi ḓo vhuyedza nga maanḓa vhupo ha mahayani vunduni iḽi vhune havha na khaedu ya vaongi. MEC wa zwa mutakalo vho Maruping Likwene vho ṱanganedza vaongi ava vhuongeloni ha Mangaliso Sobukwe fhaḽa Kimberley.
This 281 ComServes and interns will be spread throughout in our 212 facilities in the province. So we're very happy. They will bring some stability and make a difference to ensure that we respond to the healthcare challenges in our province.
I'm hoping to get as much exposure as I can from my seniors and to learn as much as I can and give back to the community and help the people of Kimberley with the limited resources. I'm sure we can all agree that only if you're a medical professional you'll understand how much our sector lacks.
I think all of us deep down we have the desire to help people, so that's why we're here, just wanting to improve our skills and our knowledge, be helpful to the people who need us.
My hope for this year as a community service doctor is to learn from the department that I've been placed in and also to enjoy and have fun. It's a learning curve and also it's a privilege that I became a doctor to help the community.
Sekthara ya zwa vhuendela mashango vunḓuni ḽa Mpumalanga i khou khwaṱhisa tsireledzo u vhona uri vhaendela mashango vho tsireledzea. Hu na maitele maswa ane a katela thekinoḽodzhi ane one a ḓo shumiswa u khwaṱhisa tsireledzo kha vhaendela mashango. Izwi ndi nga murahu ha u ṱhaselwa ha vhaendela mashango na muṅwe muendela mashango wa Germany we a vhulawa nga ṅwedzi wa Tshimedzi nga ṅwaha wa 2022.
The minister didn't give us any money. Okay. The 35 million is a very rough estimate, which involves all the phases as I explained, which is number one, the continuation of the Numbi Road project, and number two, a base monitoring system for each of the towns. Number three, enough smart cameras, 3 or more in around each town, with covering all the access routes. And then after that we are looking at the intelligence network to be established that will be assisted by those cameras, and then facilitating more and more cameras, even adding existing ones on the network. And then finally the drones that will take the most of the money. But also in that, our tourism victim support helpline, as well as manning it.
If I am as a tourist coming to this province, I surely, that's one of my big issues, is the crime issue. And if I've got the guarantee that there is good measures taken place, it will make me
what do you call it, very safer, and I will come more often to the province.
I will think the tourism will benefit from it to help to prevent crime because a lot of people who are coming out of the park now, and we've spoken to a lot of people there, they also, all of them say they avoid, like for instance, Noonday Gate. And so there are certain routes that are being avoided, and that also influences the local businesses because the people don't get supported anymore because they don't get there anymore. And then, as I say, another problem as well is like on the roads, the cattle, all the animals on the roads, especially during the night.
The private sector contribution is that they have developed an app, a secure app, whereby any tourist, international or local, can download the app, and then the response from the app, if a tourist is attacked, is almost immediately. But also, we've got a great partnership with South African Police Service. They are going to make, in addition to the accredited training of the tourism monitor, to train them in practical things.
Lino shango lori banana kaidu ine zwigwada zwa vhadzulapo zwi khou dzhia mulayo zwa u vhea zwanḓani zwao hune zwiito izwi zwa khou hulela vunḓuni ḽa Limpopo. U ya nga mivhigo ya mapholisa ho rekhodiwa milandu ya maḓana maṱanu fumalomalo ya u ṱhaselwa nga zwigwada zwa vhadzulapo vhukati ha ṅwedzi wa Phando na Ṱhafamuhwe gidi 2023. Afha hu katelwa milandu ya u vhulaha, u ṱoḓa u vhulaha, u fhisa ndaka na u rwa.
Vunḓuni ḽa Limpopo ho vhigwa milandu ya mabulayo ya ḓambili furaru sumbe vhukati ha Fulwana na Tshimedzi Mahoḽa zwa u dzhia mulayo vhea zwanḓani zwo livhisa kha mabulayo a furaru sumbe. Mabulayo a 15 o itea tshiṱirikini tsha Vhembe na ho fariwa vhathu vhanzhi zwi tevhela milandu iyi thaidzo kha ḓi dzindela. Nga ṅwedzi wa Nyendavhusiku ho vha na milandu yo dzhia mulayo vhea zwanḓani hafha Tshikolobulasi tsha Dzanani. Vhadzulapo vha ri a vha tshe na fulufhelo kha tshipholisa.
Mabulayo kho ḓalesa nga ndavha yori mabulayo na musi ari khou itea vhuyaḓa so ha vhigwa milandu mapholisa ri khou vhona vha tshi nga vha wiki nyana kha zwithu zwa so a vha khou tou tenda uri vha vhe active khou shuma mushumo wavho.
Justice uri nṋe ndi vhone khou vhona thaidzo ri a vhiga mulandu mapholisa a mirari muthu o ita hezwiṅwe zwithu mara uri muthu a ḓe a fariwe a bvisiwe ri nesa community sa zwiḓivhi ndi hafho nda thombo dina ra dzhia maanḓa ra vhea kha zwine zwa uri
zwa u dzhia vhana nga khani zwo livhisa kha milandu minzhi ya u dzhia mulayo wa vhea zwanḓani. Vhahumbulelwa vho dzhia vhana nga khani vhoriwa vha fhisiwa fhaḽa Silom ngeno vhaṅwe vhahumbulelwa vho fhisiwa dzinnḓu fhaḽa ha Mavhunga Njelele. Vha madzangano a zwitshavha vha ri vha khou vhiledzwa nga milandu iyi.
Zwine ra nga thusa ngazwo ndi zwa uri vha muhasho vha vhulamukanyi na vha tshipholisa kha vha dze kha vhadzulapo vha pfe zwililo zwa vhadzulapo ngauri vhadzulapo a vha pfesesi maitele na matshimbidzele a zwithu zwi tshi kha ḓa kha mafhungo a mulayo. Ndi tshi khou amba zwa zwino uri na hanefho hune ra vha hone uri na Member of Justice ṅwedzi wo fhelaho yo vha honeho vhatukana vhavhili vha ḓi lovha nga ṅwambo wa Justice ra ḓivha na dziṅwe dzi incidents dzo fhambananaho.
Mapholisa vha khou ita khuwelo uri vhathu vha ṱutshela zwa u dzhia mulayo vha vhea zwanḓani.
We know that the mob justice incident continued to be a thorn in the flesh for us. We have noted that Venda district as well as Mopane and many other districts have had a problem with mob justice incidents. But we calling upon our communities to resist the temptation of engaging in mob justice incident as this could lead them to being arrested by the police.
Zwa u tswa zwifuwo u tshipa na u ṱangula ndi zwiṅwe zwa zwine zwa khou sinyusa vhadzulapo. Lutando Boboli, SABC News, Tshikolobulasi tsha Dzanani.
Musi khetho guṱe dza uno ṅwaha dzi tshi khou lavhelelwa uri dzi ḓo vha khulwane vhukuma u tou fana na dza ṅwaha wa gidi ḓaṱahefuṱaheiṋa, Afrika Tshipembe ḽi khou vha na tshanduko ya zwa polotiki. U tou bva tsha ṅwaha wo fhelaho ho vha na nyambo ya uri na hu ḓo vha na ḽihoro ḽine ḽa ḓo wana gondo ḽo fhelelaho na.
It is an honor to stand with all of you today in Gauteng, the next province to be governed by the DA. And today, I ask you to re-elect me as the leader of our beloved party. 2024 is going to be about the DA's moonshot election. Now, while the term moonshot originally meant a long shot, it is increasingly being used to describe a monumental effort and a lofty goal. In other words, a giant leap forward. A leap like ensuring that the DA leads the national government in 2024. And like the original mission to take humans to the moon, we take this shot to defeat the ANC and to keep the EFF out, not because it is easy, but because it is hard.
While they contest elections as individual parties, South Africans will see that they are greater than the sum of their parts. The name of this agreement is the Multi-Party Charter for South Africa. The nature of the agreement, it is the form of a pre-election arrangement the vision for South Africa, a new government to build a just, inclusive and prosperous South Africa based on opportunity, freedom and security for all its citizens.
It's not a stipend, it's a bribery so that you can vote for the ANC. We don't want a bribery. We want the land, we want jobs, and we want them manje. We want them now, and it must be quality jobs.
We are going to remove each and every illegal foreigner in this country. We will give a reward for us to chase them at every hook, nook and cranny of this country. We shall close businesses that still hire illegal foreigners.
The 2024 elections are unlike the 2019 elections or the 2014 elections or any elections that has gone before. They will not be business as usual, delivering the expected results and seeing very little change.
We feel humbled and we are honored in the memory of our late president. Justice and political democracy has been served in the NFP. We have given rebirth to this organization. Right now, our main focus, as I said to you earlier on, we're going to look at stabilizing the organization. We're going to create legitimate party structures at the national level. We still need to appoint certain members to the national executive, further finalize the national working committee, which is the highest decision-making body of the organization between conferences.
Rojena zwino kha lutala vhuraru lwa mbekanyamushumo ya Maambiwa ri tshi khou livhuwa vha tshi kha ḓi vha na riṋe. Kha uno ṅwaha wa vhubindudzi vha vhudzulo ha matshudeni vha khou fhulufhela uri hu vhe na vhudziki kha tshikwama tsha NSFAS tshi thusaho matshudeni nga masheleni a u ṱhaphudza ngudo dzavho. Kha ṅwaha wo fhelaho ho vha na migwalabo yo vhalaho ya matshudeni zwi tshi kwama tsheo ya vha tshikwama itsho ya gemo ḽa masheleni a 45,000 rands a mbadelo dza vhudzulo ha matshudeni muṅwe na muṅwe nga ṅwaha. Kha uno ṅwaha vha NSFAS vha na thandela ya u tandulula thaidzo ya vhudzulo ha matshudeni.
Some service providers become desperate, and what they do is they cut corners and they don't follow the full process, and that creates a lot of problems because if your property is not accredited by the university, NSFAS cannot pay you. And so it creates a lot of problems, and it doesn't resolve the problem that we already have because we need accommodation for students who are sponsored by NSFAS. So the moment service providers are not accredited in their property, then suddenly we have this shortage of beds.
I've seen in 2023 a lot of students been approved with NSFAS, and that has helped us a lot because now doing cash it's not easy. You know, you are better off being paid by NSFAS.
We actually struggle quite a lot with is
not the quantum of student accommodation, but the quality of it. So we don't want to have people sitting in backyards and cottages, illegal commune situations, overbearing the infrastructure of the surrounding communities.
Mapolisa bavundula KwaZulu-Natal vari zvitumbu zvavatu vaviri vevanwera khothe musi goloi yavo ichikumbiwa tsini na damu la Henley pa Pietermaritzburg murova nga swondaha nga masiari zvowanala. Zvifanyiso zvine zvakhou reredza kha nyanza dza mafhungo dza matshilisano zvikhou sumbedza uri goloi iyo yova ichikhou kumbiwa nga mulambo we wavha wo ḓala he vathu vha lingedza u ikokodzela fhethu ho tsireledzeaho nga thambo. Goloi iyo yo ḓo fhedza yo kumbiwa ya dzhena nga fhasi ha buroho.
The bodies of two people who drowned when a car they were traveling in was swept away during heavy flooding on Sunday afternoon at any location in the Petisar precinct were recovered on Monday, the 1st of January. A search team comprising members of the South African National Defence Force and committee members located the vehicle at Henley Dam on Monday morning. Bodies of a 39-year-old woman and a 6-year-old boy were recovered inside the vehicle. The search continues for a 36-year-old man who was a third occupant in the same vehicle.
Shango la North Korea lo visa tsivudzo ya gabelo lihulu zvichitevera mudzinginyo ngei kha la Japan. Hillary, gabelo lihulu line lorapfa mithara 2.8 lingasvika kaphinira shango ili. Hone wa tsivudzo nga ha zvipiḓa zwa kha khunzikhunzi dza danje la Pacific kha zwa shango la Russia. Huko tsivudzwa vane vatala nṱha ha magabelo uri vha songo sendela tsini na maḓi. Ri tshi kha ḓivha kha ḽeneḽo fhungo maṱavhelo a namusi ramafhungo washu ane a bva kha ḽa Japan Chris Gilbert o ṋea muvhigo nga ha zwo iteaho.
We have a 7.6 magnitude earthquake centered on the Noto Peninsula, a small peninsula in the middle of the country on the northwestern coastline, and that effectively has triggered a number of tsunamis which we've seen begin to hit Japan over the last few hours. Now these have ranged from a few centimeters in height to about 1.6 meters. Just for some context, the enormous tsunami which hit Japan about 12 years ago was 13 to 30 meters. So these are much smaller, but they're still able to knock people over, and we're currently experiencing high tide. So there may be yet more, damage coming from these, and authorities are urging vigilance. We've also seen an electrical fire break out in the main town in the area of Wajima. This is a town of about 28,000 people, and that fire, due to the very dry, cool conditions, does seem to have spread through the buildings there fairly rapidly. There's also been some buildings collapsed. We're still getting numbers coming in. These are small towns, but some of the buildings are quite old, and there are a lot of old people there who may not be able to necessarily leave these buildings by themselves, as it is an aging society in these rural areas, and so people are really urging others to look on their neighbours when it's safe to do so and make sure everyone is okay. We have reports that the hospitals are being flooded with casualties of varying seriousness. There are no confirmed fatalities yet, but these hospitals are on generators at the moment for power in that part of the country. So as I say, it is a developing situation. The power is out to 33,000 households, and we're just learning more as these developments continue to roll in.
Ana musinga vartendere ria gaza henepa arivasi fezi rivaonesa nga zvifanyiso na miungo ya ututubisiwa hazi cricket musi vadzulapo vachiko utanganedza ṅwaha muswa vusiku kati hamulova. Nṋe ndifi Tshanduko Ligege ndi vatamela ṅwaha wa maṱhakheni a madekwana vhuḓi ndaa.